good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night. So tonight we do have a missions update from Rich Lodi from Gospel for Asia. So he'll be up giving us an update on that. And before he comes up, before I introduce him, I just feel led to read 3 verses to you all, and it's in the context of you never know where you're going to find yourself. And so just keep moving, keep going, and abide in him. And it comes from 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 7, 8, and 9. And what struck me about this is Solomon wrote the Proverbs, the wisest man of all. And when I read this morning, it struck me. I'd never picked up on this before. And here's what it says. It says, "Now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king instead of my father David, but I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Therefore, give to your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours?" And we know that God answered that request of Solomon's. Abide. So Rich Lodi is Director of Communications for Gospel for Asia. And I had a chance to have dinner with he and his family tonight. And when I first walked in, I was expecting to see a table of 2, and that's what I was looking for. And lo and behold, it was he, his wife, and he has 6 kids. So big family, awesome family. So it was great spending time with them. And Gospel for Asia, it's all about the 1040 window, which is this way, so latitudinal lines, right? So this box that goes from West Africa all the way over to East Asia. And what's interesting is 97% of the unreached people are in this window, yet out of the Western church, some very small amount, like 0.05% of support goes to that window. And it made me think of one of our own as well, Dave Gordon, over in Bangkok, and and getting updates from him and what's going on with him, and just with the missionaries there and being able to serve the missionaries. So with that said, we have the privilege of introducing Rich Lodi, Gospel for Asia.
Yeah, I think he had a look of shock when he saw the table of 8 on there. It was fun. So again, I just want to share briefly this evening. I just want to thank Pastor Ed for giving me this opportunity, and JJ and everybody, just for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit tonight. You may not know it, but as a church, you guys support us as a family working at Gospel for Asia. And you may not also know that you'll support 7 national missionaries on the field right now. It's kind of morning time-ish there in South Asia. You have, I think, 4 or 5 missionaries in India right now working, and you have a couple in Myanmar or Burma. And so right now, at this very moment, you as a church are planting churches amongst those who have never heard the gospel once. Right this very night, as you guys are worshiping. As we corporately worship together tonight, it was just so awesome just to feel the presence of the Lord. But I was thinking, too, that, when I went to India, we work on the state side in Texas, hence the boots. We work on the support side to bring support and awareness about the gospel in South Asia. But I was thinking, we went there back in 2006 just to see the work that we were doing. And one thing that really struck me was we went to a temple just to kind of see what it was like. It was a Hindu temple. And now just picture yourself being born in India or some South Asian country. You're a little boy, and all you know is these 30 million Hindu gods. That's all you know. You have no idea about this Jesus. There's no concept in your mind about this Jesus. And so I remember seeing in this temple, all these people are worshiping, them bowing down to these idols, and they're offering these offerings to these idols that just look really ugly. And I still remember it vividly, this man, this father, bringing his little son, next to this idol and really showing him how to bow down to this idol. And it was just real heartbreaking. Again, I have 6 kids. I can't imagine bringing them to an idol and saying, here, bow down to this idol, worship this idol. But they don't know anything else. They've never heard that Jesus is real, that Jesus is alive, that there is a God who loves them, that doesn't require all this stuff in order to be saved. But I just want to encourage you tonight that you guys, as a church, are part of reaching that 1040 window that's right behind us. Like he said, there's 97% of all the unreached people are in that 1040 window. And you know what? In India alone, there's 500,000 unreached people groups, or unreached villages. And you guys have missionaries right there, right now, planting churches and going into these areas. And so I want to encourage you. I came from Colorado, I lived in Colorado for 6 years before going to Texas. And I was in the software industry. I don't know if anybody's in the IT or software world, but I was. And I was a project manager there. And I got laid off back in 2001. And I was going, okay, Lord, what do you want now? And so I started looking into different things, home-based business, things like that. And the Lord brought into my path this book called Revolution in World Missions. And some of you have read that book. And it radically changed my life. And that was written by the founder, K.P. Yohanan, of Gospel for Asia. And I figured I was reading it and just praying through it. And the Lord was starting to convict me and challenge me. I didn't feel like the Lord was calling me to go to another country and bring my family to another country to serve there. I didn't feel that. And many of you are here, and you don't feel the same calling. You don't feel like you're to take your family or take yourself and go to another country. But you know what? The Lord showed me directly and clearly that he could use the talents, the gifts that he's been working on over these years as a project manager and some of these other jobs that he's given me. And I can actually work in the headquarters there in Texas, which is kind of like a foreign country. And I can use those skills that the Lord's given me to produce things that will bring awareness of what's going on in this 1040 region. And by the Lord's grace, he's enabling us to be able to plant churches, over 5,000 churches last year alone. And you guys are part of that. You guys are part of that. So, but the Lord can use your gifts. He can use your skills, your abilities. You don't have to be when you think of missionary, what do you think of? Lord, please don't send me to Africa, right? So that's what you conjure up as a missionary. But I just want to encourage you tonight that wherever you're at, you may be kind of feeling this kind of tug in your heart. I really have a burden for the lost. I really have a burden to see those people who have never heard the gospel once hear the gospel. And you're feeling, but I don't necessarily feel the Lord's calling me over there. You don't have to. The Lord could call you somewhere here to pray, get involved. You could talk to your missions people here, get involved and pray. He could be sending you or asking you to send a missionary to the South Asia, or he could be calling you to do something like what we're doing, to go to the headquarters in Texas and to use the skills and abilities the Lord has given you to reach those who have never heard the gospel once. And so I just want to encourage you tonight, because I know a lot of people think, man, I just got this burden for the lost and for those who haven't heard the gospel, but you don't know what to do, really. And so I just want to encourage you in that tonight, that you can be used by the Lord just where you're at, or the Lord could send you to a place like Texas or some other ministry to be used in a mighty way. And it's such a privilege. I just think of, we left beautiful Colorado, and we came back here for these past 3 weeks, and we're like, oh, Lord, why'd you leave us? Or why didn't you leave us here in Colorado? It's so beautiful. But you know what? It's so worth it when I think about every single day working, getting up. I go to a computer. We produce things like this, like an annual report in the communications department. But you know what? I am able to just say, Lord, thank you that I could take my family here. And every single day, we get the privilege of leading people to Christ. Not ourselves, not going out there, on the front lines, but we get the privilege of sending more missionaries out there every single day of our lives. And it's such an incredible privilege. It really is. And I just want to encourage you guys to really think about getting involved in some way, shape, or form in missions, whether it be some small part or a big part. We do have a table at the back, and so feel free to come and say hi to us and to pick up some materials. We have some materials in the back, but I just want to say thank you as a church for supporting us, for helping reach those people in the 1040 window that have yet to hear the gospel. So thank you so much.